I think here and now we have to tell you, Adam, that it's really Parker that's doing that.
Our audio engineer. he's got it out for you.
Yeah, he was playing nice when I walked in.
Yeah, that's his method. It was something about a Thomas the Train, and then he said, "You're going down."
Right.
That's all I remember. So now, what is how many episodes are going to be in the season?
14.
14. So we're just in episode 3. So there's still 11 weeks.
Just starting. 11 weeks. You're right at the beginning. And, you know, depending on what happens, I may just be like, screw it, I have to release them all. But I do like the fact that little by little, you know, I just figured when...
It's a good strategy.
It's little by little, just try to pump up each episode. But it does drive me crazy because they're so short. It's like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. They really are like 4 half-hour shows that I'm slightly breaking up, and it sucks because for a story, you want to watch them all.
Yeah.
You just want to spend the, whatever, 60 minutes, 70 minutes and just watch the whole thing.
So now, I mean, it kind of sucks for you to start this series out with the PR of going straight to worst show on the web, but have you done any smaller network or...
Actually, monsterbird.com. I don't know if you know that site. I hadn't known it until
they've never heard of us either. So.
Exactly. They've shown interest, and they're going to start putting the shows up. And I had Adam Films actually was partnering with me on this, and they just said it was too competitive heavy. They wanted more sketch comedy type stuff. And I pitched it to them, they understood it, they were totally cool on it, but in the end I think they just wanted more. I don't know, all that's the problem with the internet is almost all the shows are straight up kicking the balls, funny, or, you know, kittens. And there really isn't any sports or reality. It's kind of like, you know, where was ESPN 30 years ago before there was a network for it, that kind of thing. So I think there's room for it, but again, everything on the net is comedy.
This is like the largest chat room we've had in a long time.
You know what's the other thing is really weird? When I was at TVN in 95, 96, I actually did a chat room while I was on the radio, which at the time was like, it was so difficult. Through AOL, called Late Show Online, had a little song and everything. And it was just like this, and I'm getting flashbacks of 15 years ago doing that.
See how cutting edge technology we have?
Yeah.
Can you prove it that you did that? Is there any evidence at all?
No.
Didn't think so.
You were a pioneer. So as far as the video blogging now, so how, I mean, you're still doing it. Is this
This is entry number 1027.
1027.
Yeah.
I'm famous.
Why are you famous?
Because he's on the very first video blog.
I'm in the very first video
blog.
Oh, hey! We all are.
Wow, I forgot.
This is interesting. We've now made it. Because we're in the video blog.
Well, you can link to this on your Wikipedia.
And we need to have our own Wikipedia page.
Good luck with that.
We do.
Well, here's the bad part is that you guys are all wonderfully, you know, for me it's just the back of my neck and my bald spot that was well documented.
It's actually just all me. I just put it right on me.
Nice.
Well, it is your blog.
Yeah,
I guess you can be the star of your life.
Now, I have something really interesting. Does it make it weird when you're dating?
Well, that's the thing is I never intended to be, you know. So yeah, it absolutely. Because I was married, right? No, here's what the problem is that because of my track record with my marriages, I have a couple.
You have a couple?
Wow.
You didn't say that.
Yeah, well, look it up. Anyway, you don't want to say anything unless you think this is a big deal, you know. And then there becomes the issue of, well, you haven't mentioned me yet, so we must not be important. It's like, shit.
Or will they reject you because you have a video blog?
It isn't so much that, it's just I don't want to say anything until I've gotten past a couple steps because
like
I don't
sex?
want. No, that's no.
The camera can
be. I was like, wow, are we getting cut off? So no, it is very strange, and usually I don't bring anybody into it until it's very, very serious, you know, because again, it's not fair to them. I don't want to do that. I don't want to give personal details. If it's a wife, I don't think you have a choice, really. I mean, you're going to have to try to, you know, tell that story as good as you can. But mostly, it's pretty career driven and just trying to keep me accountable. Meaning, I don't want to have like an empty month of doing nothing. So if I have nothing working, I just start scheming and trying to make stuff up. I don't know, like a Foursquare reality show, just so I'm moving. You know, and it makes me produce more than I normally would because I'm looking at this site and I want to have content. And I can only report on my life, so that means I got to do something, like go around the world. Like in June, I went to Africa and just because I was like, you know what, this is boring right now, and I just have to do something crazy and see what it leads to.
Now I have to ask. This is an interesting question. I've heard, and I went to Africa, and I didn't work for 2 months.
Right.
Do you have a gold mine underneath your house?
No, I'm completely in debt up to my ears. I was lucky enough to buy a house in 2003, and I'm basically living on a home equity loan at the moment. Ironically,
that's a nice.
No, it's actually frightening as hell every second. But I got to tell you, with Couchsurfing.com, you can't imagine how cheaply you can do things. If you're going to go by yourself, if you don't care if you're sleeping on somebody's couch you don't really know, and you're not looking to do the normal thing. My thing, whenever I go to a different country or something, I just kind of want to hang out in the neighborhood and just kind of see how they live. It's not so much about seeing all the sights and so forth, so I did it remarkably cheap.
But that's easy for a guy to do.
It's
a little more
completely different
complicated
for
a woman to do.
Well, unless he runs into a stalker, you know, on Couchsurfing.com.
That's true.
Couchsurfing.com.
Boy, if I was a smart stalker,
yeah, you know, it's like
that's what he should do.
Just open up your couch,
and
just like eventually he'll come by.
Young male video blogger.
We only accept Adams on my couch.
So no, I'm up to debt. I'm dead, you know, and I took a big leap of faith when I got the Comedy Central pilot, thinking this was it, and I put all my money into that. I had a production company that was going to back me, but they wanted me to pay for everything, and I went, well, that sucks.
But hey, once you've paid for everything, we will totally take ownership.
Right.
I swear to God, that's what the contract said. It said, we will not provide anything, but we own the pilot. And my agent said, you can't take this. And I said, well, I can't afford to do this. And they said, well, then just stand up there and do something. And I'm like, this is Comedy Central. Like, I'm not going to do exactly what you know. So I just did it all myself again, completely funded the whole thing. And I do own the pilot, but how fucking good that does me. What am I supposed to do with it? You know, I don't know how to pitch it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all a catch-22. But I took a big leap of faith last year, and it didn't work out. And now it's kind of like, oh shit, I don't know what happens next. But I guess that's why you read the blog, right?
So now we've talked about where Ford is. Where is the video blog?
Theofficialjourney.com.
The Official Journey. And has it always been that URL?
No, 4tvs.com was where it came from. And when you went to 4tvs.com, I talked about my show, and I had the journey and so forth. And then it's just kind of morphed. You know, it's the old adage that life's the journey, not the destination. I really thought 4tvs would be it, but it ends up that the story of trying to make it has actually garnered more attention and, you know, just more excitement, just because I think people like seeing someone fall on their ass.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really open about it.
Yeah.
I'm really open about it. Like, if something good happens, I'm like screaming from the mountaintops because I need an entry. I need a video. So I'm going to tell you every single possible break. Here it is, and then you know 99% of them go away. Mm-hmm. So there's got to be that fucking entry. You know, so it's completely honest and completely out there. So it's tough.
And any idea what kind of listenership or viewership you've had?
It depends on the topic. If I'm talking about political stuff, it can be huge. Right. It just depends on what I'm doing. If it's some of the divorce stuff got really popular, and then it just depends on how you tag it. And you know, I know there's a set group that just follow everything, but that isn't the mainstay. It's usually if I happen upon a nerve that gets taken somewhere else. You know,
you see this here? You see this I'm sporting? Mm-hmm. This is about 4 weeks worth of work. Yeah.
It doesn't even connect, though.
Right?
Wow.
He just dissed your facial hair.
Wow.
Oh,
that was just brutal.
That does not.
Yeah. Is connecting a big deal?
Are you
have got to be kidding me. Apparently,
actually,
you know what? Actually, apparently, I'm not sure that we are still on the air.
No, we're out of time.
It says that we're on, but we're not streaming.
Well, then what's the point?
Well, that's what it says for the green room.
So when people download a podcast, they get both?
Yes. Well, they just have to make it this long.
The host is connected.
To listen.
Yeah, the host has been disconnected.
Okay.
So at some point in the last 10 minutes, we ended the show.
I hope it wasn't for the facial hair.
Yeah.
There goes our whole listenership.
That's it.
That's one of the technical problems.
We just stopped talking to the microphone.
Yeah, I know. We're still doing
the show.